when someone made the invitation, "Come away with me, and I will give you rest," at a very beautiful retreat center, I said yes. The timing of the retreat center wasn't very good. It was going to be the first week in October, but we had a clergy discount, so I felt obligated to go. It was going to be at 180 acres anyways. It was this beautiful property where there were streams and falls and fields and animals. It was going to be great. When we arrived, we got around the circle and we made introductions. And that's when I knew I was in for more than I had anticipated. The first person gave his name and said, "I need to save my marriage." He said if he didn't come, his wife was leaving him. I thought the brochure said retreat, not place of last resort. I was sure I needed to read the brochure much more carefully next time. Well, the facilitators were offering us a place of retreat. They were offering us a place where we would have the time and the space to go back into our memories, to a place of wounding, to a place of traumatic memory, which we were still carrying with us to that particular day. And then they were going to ask us to invite Jesus into that space and see what healing could take place. Now I know that may sound a little weird and a little evangelical, but bear with me. I am not trying to convert you. I do want to tell you why you would want to go to a traumatic memory. Memories are connected to core longings or core needs. Core needs are 6 things that everyone needs to have to live, grow, and be content. They are security, purpose, understanding, significance, love, and belonging. We carry core memories with us because one or more of those core longings were not met at that time. So we go in search of trying to fill those core needs. Emotionally, when we can't meet those needs and they're not connected to our memory, we can become quite dysfunctional in our behavior. Seeking and not knowing what we're looking for can be a difficult and often challenging way to live. So I decided I would go back in my memory to a time that was traumatic for me. I was 6 years old. I went to the Guelph General Hospital. I can remember the hospital bed, the size and the shape. I can remember the nurses with their stark white uniforms and their starched white hats. I can remember the girl with cystic fibrosis who was across the way in the ward from me. And I remember waiting for my mom to come and visit. A hospital is a very lonely place for a child who does not really understand the strict visiting hours. I also remember when all the curtains were pulled and everyone came in, and then there was this empty hospital bed. I didn't know it at the time, but the girl had died of her illness. At that point, the facilitator then said, "Invite Jesus into this memory." I wasn't sure what good that was going to do, but why not? God is good. So I invited Jesus into the memory, and suddenly I realized I was lonely, but not alone. Then Jesus walked over to the girl who had cystic fibrosis, and I realized this was a piece of the puzzle I was missing. I needed to know that she was cared for, and then I could be at rest as well. This was a rather unexpected journey for me. I knew I carried this memory, but I really didn't know what to do with it. I hadn't connected it to my concern for children and my policy that no child should ever be abandoned. And now I know I don't really need to cry at every sappy commercial on TV when there's a child left alone. Okay, so sometimes I cry, but I have a better understanding of what's going on. Everyone is carrying a burden of memories to some degree or other. But those burdens do not have to be carried forever. Core needs can be met many years later. And those traumatic, often terrifying memories can be laid to rest. They are not forgotten, but through this process we have a different way of looking at them, a better way of thinking about them. Come away with me, all of you who are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. That's a promise I found to be true, and I think you will too. Thank you very much for your time.